Hello my wonderful viewers, welcome to my platform. This is Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of coming across this channel and you like what you see after watching, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notification. In that way you'll be able to get notified each time I upload a new video, even those without notification. Here we react to all forms of videos, international and local. Every Saturday by 2 p.m. we have our interaction section. You are free to call in to air your opinion about the happenings in our society. Invite your friends, share my videos with your families and colleagues. Do not keep this information to yourself. Myself, I will be sitting down here to watch this video together with you from the beginning to the end. Then we'll go to the comment section and leave our comment, our opinion about the video we watch.
I come with a very principled message. Now, it is obvious, and it is only the insane that would say that Nigeria is designed for humanity. Only the insane, only the insanely racist, insanely fraudulent, insanely selfish, insanely greedy, insanely perpetrator of acts against humanity would claim and would support the structure, the contraption called Nigeria. I feel ashamed for anyone who supports such a structure, let alone call it a country, not to talk of a nation. Because we know what countries mean. We know what nations are. Humanity cannot be further deceived, and humanity cannot subscribe to the deception of beings who have no clue about what it is to be human beings. I want to make sure I send this message as the Spirit directs to all those claiming to be Idus, all those claiming to be Biafrans, all those claiming to be LNC, or whatsoever going on out there. It is clear, and of course, as Nelson Mandela reminded humanity, because of the current insanity and the confusion gripping humanity, there are only 3 residents for a true freedom fighter. There are only 3 places where you find a true freedom fighter. If it is not in the prison, it has to be in exile or in the grave. These are the 3 places reserved for a true freedom fighter who is not compromised. It is obvious. So whenever you call yourself a freedom fighter and you are operating within the zone of your oppressor, you are compromised. You are not a true freedom fighter. You are on the side of your oppressor. This is standard. Now, I want to make sure I send this message across. It's a duty and it's a responsibility I have. And I want to fulfill this duty and I want to fulfill this responsibility. You see, there is no place in the world where freedom is achieved through a one-dimensional approach. What that means is that people are going to come from various angles, but there is a central purpose, there is a central mission, and that mission is freedom. The common denominating factor for all those who claiming to wanting liberation is freedom. That is the common denominating factor, and there is a central enemy to that freedom. And that is always and must always be the focus. So it doesn't matter what you call yourself. If you miss this point and at any point begin to contest challenge and focus on those who are seeking freedom. It doesn't matter under which umbrella, then you are on the side of the oppressor because you have lost sight of the ball. You have lost sight of the focus. So it doesn't matter what umbrella you are under. It doesn't matter what name you give your particular organization. If you say you are seeking freedom, you must have a central purpose, a central focus, which is to do with the liberation of humanity. That should be a common denominating factor. So, whenever you see anybody claiming to be Iduu now fighting the other person claiming to be Biafra, or you find somebody claiming to be LNC fighting the other person claiming to be Iduu or claiming to be Biafra or whatsoever, that person is working with the oppressor because their central focus is no longer freedom. Their central focus is no longer liberation. Their central focus is to bring about disorganization, confusion, and total collapse of the mission. So, you can carry any umbrella, but if you tell us that your real thing is for freedom, pursue it from your angle, leaving those who are claiming freedom as well to pursue from their own angle. If there is any common interest or common focus, which in my view is freedom, this freedom should unite all of you whilst you still come from your various approaches. You need to look at a tree and learn a lesson. All the branches of the tree speak of one root. All the branches of if you see a tree, look at its branches. If any of those branches is not linked towards the root of the tree, they are outside the tree. And if they are not connected to any root, they will die. So, I want all of you, Iduu, Biafra, LNC, whatever you call yourself, to see yourselves as branches of the same tree, linking you to a central root, because the root, the real focus, is the Federal Republic terrorist government of Nigeria and those propelling them from outside, primarily British government, French government, European community in general. They are the ones actually propelling all the activities going on. When I told humanity that the agenda for depopulation is active, they thought I was joking. But you are seeing it today. There is clear, and this well spoken out, clear agenda to depopulate Africans. That plan is active. So when you hear about a bomb being detonated wherever, it is part of the plan, because instruments of religion is activated. Instruments of civil war is activated. Instrument of political decay and political crisis are activated, pursuing the same singular aim of depopulation and total chaos. This is by people who, as far as I know, are operating as just beings. People whose human components are completely silent, not activated. I've said this and I've written this numerously because everybody really needs to understand that when we emerge from our mother's wombs, we are basically, naturally, and standardly beings. No one is born a human being. The human side of every being is locked in, and that is our spiritual side. This human side must be activated. And not only activation, this human side must be properly nurtured. Otherwise, you can end up being a professor. You can end up being whatever and being in any position whatsoever. If your human side is not activated, you become real danger. You will serve as real danger unto humanity. Let me make it clear. A being is more dangerous to humanity than all wild animals put together. A being has potential to create havoc more than all wild animals put together. Let me tell you so you know. No matter how you assemble wild animals, all the wild animals in this world have no capacity to kill 100 people at a go. They can't, because human beings are too smart. It's impossible. But a being can kill 1,000 people in one go. A being can detonate a bomb and wipe out 1,000 or more people in a go, because a being has no clue about what being human beings mean. A being has no clue. A being sees himself and his interests. A being actually does not believe that they came into this world empty-handed. I'm sorry I was interrupted. I may be interrupted again, but I will still come back. A being does not see anything other than his or her interests. A being does not actually remember that it took two strangers before they could become aware of the existence of this world. A being has no memory of the fact that when they arrived into this world, they brought nothing into it. A being does not remember, can't imagine that on arrival, they were as hopeless as anything, as useless as anything, as vulnerable as anything. Okay? Vulnerable to the extent that they had to depend on other people for their survival. A being forgets all these things. A being does not remember that everything they have and everything they will ever possess and everything they become is not only acquired, but it is also transient. A being cannot remember that anything that is transient must pass away and anything that is acquired must be surrendered. A being doesn't see that. A being is only focused on amassing what we call alliances, amassing arms, developing and creating secret society for the mission of suppression, oppression, restriction, and annexation of fellow human beings, because they are not humans yet, of human beings as well as places that existed before the arrival of their ancestors, the arrival of their parents, let alone their own arrival. They claim ownership of places and ownership of human beings. This is what beings do. But they forget that they are not even guaranteed tomorrow, let alone the future. A being is blind. A being is insane. It doesn't matter how academically efficient they are. It doesn't matter the position or possession they acquire. It just does not. A being is totally blind. A being does not see that human beings are born with different skill sets, different gifts for the purposes of service. A being does not see it. A being can't understand that human beings can only become full-fledged and actually be able to prosper through cooperation, collaboration, and complement in service. A being has no such knowledge. A being does not understand that they possess so much limitations amidst their respective unique gifts. A being does not know that the other person has something in them for them, and that they themselves have something unique for the other person. A being is only fixated on forming alliances, forming secret societies, developing arms for the purposes of stealing, killing, and destruction. A being is simply not human until their human side is activated. So, it is the beings of this earth that formulated the structure you call Nigeria. It is the same beings of this earth that are promoting, supporting, and encouraging that structure, that evil structure. But for those who understand beings and their activities, for those who are aware of what this whole thing is all about, especially when now you come and say you are seeking freedom, or that you are Iduu, or you are Biafran, or you are LNC, you are this and you are that. Now I want to make it clear, and I want you to understand that if you lose sight of the freedom and all you are doing is to fight, if as an Iduu you're fighting a Biafran, as a Biafran you're fighting LNC you're fighting Biafra, you're fighting Iduu, then I'm sorry, you are on the side of the oppressor. You are on the side of the oppressor. There is nothing wrong in coming from different perspectives, but pursuing one goal. It is like football. A team has people in different positions doing their stuff, but with one central aim of scoring a goal. That is what this is about. So, if you lose focus of that goal, and all you're doing is to fight those that you are fighting for freedom with, then I'm sorry, you are not fighting for freedom. You are on the side of the oppressor. I want to make this abundantly clear. We have to leave every other thing aside until freedom is achieved. When you achieve freedom, then you can go and look at your names, your modalities, etc. Freedom is the central thing. And in fact, as things stand right now, the central focus is the release of Mzi Nandikano, who committed no crime, who is illegally held. That should be the central focus of everybody, whether you are Iduu, whether you are Biafra, whether you are LNC, whatever. This is the primary purpose right now for everybody who has good conscience, for everybody who believes in humanity, for everybody who believes in freedom, for everybody who believes in liberty. The central focus right now and the primary thing is the freedom of Mzi Nandikano. He ought to have been released yesterday, not even today, yesterday. He ought not even to be there where he is. It is an eyesore for humanity. The way this guy was taken has cast aspersions on everything legal in this world, because every act of law have been defamed and destroyed, be it international, be it national, be it local laws. Everything was trampled upon, and it is a shame, especially for those who claim to be civilized, those who claim to be religious, those who claim to be educated, those who claim to be opinion leaders of this world, those who claim to be statesmen and stateswomen. It's a huge shame on them. Humanity is aggrieved. The question is, how long will it take before human beings are able to reflect properly as human beings and project accordingly? Or are we going to remain in this insanity and confusion where people believe that they can own their fellow human beings or own human beings? Because those who believe they can own human beings are beings, they are not human. Every human being understands the process by which they got to know about the existence of this world. Every human being understands that everything had already been created before we got here. So we have no ownership of anything in this world. We are only asked to look after things. and to alter things and to serve one another. Every human being understands that. It's only the beings of this earth who have formed alliances, have formed secret societies, have formed ammunitions in order to claim ownership of what they don't own, what they never created, what they are not capable of taking out of this world. They just had to form alliances, secret societies, and ammunition to begin to even claim ownership of human beings. Then when you now pinch yourself to remember that the people claiming all these things were once nowhere in this world until two strangers, because at the time their parents were indulging in that sexual activity that brought about their existence. They were strangers to their parents, and their parents were strangers to them. Every parent knows that at the time they are indulging in sexual activity that gives rise to any child, any baby being born, that they have no idea whether the sexual activity would lead to anything, let alone know who is it that is coming. Because if they knew, why is the birth of a child always a surprise to their parents? That they look into their babies and everybody is, oh, he has my cheek. Oh, he has my nose. Oh, no, it's my forehead he has. Oh, yes, because you are looking at a stranger. And this stranger does not know you. It takes a long while before this baby begins to identify who is the mother and who is the father. After a long while, would this stranger get to know you as a parent? And a long while that involves total hopelessness, helplessness, total vulnerability, to the extent that that baby must depend on others for their survival. So after surviving, this baby now goes to form alliances with others, claiming to own themselves, own other people, own other places of the same world they just visited yesterday. If that is not serious and the most intense mental disorder, then I can bet with my life that psychiatry is a fraud. It's a fraud against the poor, against the weak, and against the vulnerable. Because psychiatry missed out big time. Psychiatry ignored the needs of those who needed it most by not making provision for these intensely psychotic and psychopathic and sociopathic beings who were just mere strangers to the world, but suddenly are claiming ownership of the world to the extent that they structured a place called Nigeria with a view to cultivating an impossibility that will always produce malfunction. A place where talents are destroyed. A place where the ingenuity of man, which is natural, is totally subdued and destroyed. And yet, they want it to continue. Why not? They will, because they are beings. If they were human beings, they would know that an exit door is awaiting. An exit door is awaiting. And when that exit door arrives, all their stupid alliances, all their secret societies, all their ammunition, and all the stolen earthly possessions will abandon them, reject them, deny them, as each of them must exit this world lonely, alone, and empty-handed, just the way they arrived. Everything must be left behind. Does it shock you that all those stolen money, all those stolen resources remain here, still on earth? Those who have been stealing all these things could not take any of them outside of this world. Does it surprise you to know that? And what I'm telling you is applicable to everybody that exists in this world. It's applicable to those that existed. It's applicable to those that are existing. And it will continue to apply to any human being that comes into this world. This is a standard rule. It doesn't matter which office they occupy or what they claim to be. The rule applies across the board. So, the real purpose for this particular broadcast is that all those who are pursuing freedom, irrespective of the name you call yourself, whether you are Iduu, whether you are LNC, whether you are Biafran, you must desist from fighting amongst yourselves and concentrate on your common enemy and the common goal of getting freedom and liberty for humanity. Whenever you engage in pursuing people who are in the same direction as you, it means that you are working for the oppressor. You are working for the oppressor. There are no two ways about it. You must all go for freedom. When you secure freedom, then you can go and begin to look at what names you call yourselves or what modalities you want to pursue. You must get one before you count two. But like I just said, the central aim, the central focus right now is the freedom of Mzi Nandikano. And whatever needs to be done, whatever it takes, whatever it requires, must be done without fear and without favor. Don't forget that you must not be afraid of your fellow human being who is subject to die. You cannot. What we owe ourselves is reciprocal respect. The only being to fear is God, who can destroy both the physical as well as the spiritual, the soul. Every human being is subject to death. No human being is guaranteed tomorrow, so no one is assigned the future. Only when we are delusive and when we are deluded, we claim to own the future, when tomorrow is not a guarantee to any human being. The air we breathe isn't ours, and we can't guarantee the air we breathe. I think on this note, the message is delivered. So let those who have ears hear. Let those who have eyes see.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.